I'm real excited about some of the changes that we're happy to announce here at ZeeBaaS, and the major change is that we are bringing a good percentage of our manufacturing back to the United States, where we're having machine shops all across the eastern seaboard making parts for us instead of having them made from China. This has been a great thing for us because it allows us to control the quality. It allows us to, get on the phone with these shops, drive over to see them, introduce ourselves, establish a relationship, and that's going to help out a lot with the quality of the parts that we're getting. Right now, we started out with some of our major parts like the body, the spools, the rotors, the shafts, to have those manufactured here. So right now we are at approximately 80% of our manufactured value is coming from US sources. That's a number that's going to continually change because as those parts are coming in and we get those done, we're going to be adding more and more parts, and eventually we're going to try to get completely out of using any foreign parts as far as the manufactured parts. There's always going to be parts like seals and bearings, parts that we purchase that are going to be made overseas. There's not a lot of US companies making seals and bearings, so I don't believe that the reel will ever be 100% US made. But our goal right now is to get as much of the manufactured parts as we can made here in the United States. We have the capabilities to produce some of these parts ourselves right down the street here in Stratford. Some of these parts include the pickup arms, the drag plate click discs, and other parts are also made here. We have a large machine shop to back us up with any problems that we encounter, or if there is a part that we can't get made affordably from a domestic source, we do have the ability to make parts ourselves. When we say that over 80% of the value of our parts comes from the US, we're talking about when we assemble these reels, they're assembled from scratch. Every screw, every bearing, every bushing has to be assembled, and it's all done here in Stratford. We don't take assemblies from other countries, bolt them together, and call it made in the United States. We literally take parts, after they come to us from the machine shops, we have to go through a tumbling process where the part is polished, then it goes out to get anodized, then it comes back in, and if it's a part that needs laser engraving, we'll send it out to be laser engraved. Once it comes back from that and all the parts are anodized, we're ready to begin the assembly, but no two parts of this reel are connected together anywhere else. 100% of the manufacturing from every last screw is done right here in Stratford. For example, this is the heart of the reel. This is the body of the reel. It's the part that all the other parts virtually have to, mate with. So this part is currently being made in Pennsylvania. This is the form that we get the part in. We get it, in a machined aluminum part. We'll take this part, we'll tumble it, we'll send it out for engraving and anodizing, and then once we get it back, we'll start the assembly from here. This is the foundation of all our reels right here. This is the ZX2 body, US made. One of the things I'm really excited about is the team that we have built here at ZeeBaaS right now. We just recently hired John Posh, who is an expert fisherman here in Connecticut. He's well known. He's been in the tackle industry since the 1970s. He is an expert when it comes to things like gear and what it's supposed to feel like when it's in your hands and what fishermen want. So he does a lot of our quality control. He's doing a lot of our assembly, and he's able to take step by step and understand if there's something that's not right, to stop right there and we get the problem corrected. So we're really excited to have him. We have Wendy, who's been with ZeeBaaS, pretty much forever, and she's been the voice of ZeeBaaS. She does a great job in customer service. When somebody calls up ZeeBaaS, 99% chance, it's going to be Wendy that answers the phone. She also helps us out with assembly. So we all kind of have overlapping jobs where we're there to back each other up. We just instituted a policy where every single reel goes through a double checklist, where we have checklists as the reels are assembled. So the assembler, whether it's John, Wendy, or myself, will check off these details, and then another one of us will double check to make sure that one of us didn't miss something, because we're all human and it's definitely possible that we could miss something. But here's an example of a reel that this reel has been checked. I can see that John built it because we all have to initial the work that we do. Once the body is built and it goes through pressure testing, which is another thing that we implemented, every single reel that we build is water pressure tested to make sure that it is waterproof. After that happens, the rotor and the spool gets assembled as the reel is sold, so that we can have the reels built, but we can customize them as they go out the door. Once the rotor is installed and the spool is installed, there's another checklist on the back of the reel. That checklist has to be run down, and also twice. So we're really confident that when these reels are shipping out of here, they're ready to go, and there's not going to be any problems with them at all. Here's an example of our ZX2 25 single roller with the counterweight. This is a second generation reel, and this is the only reel that we're working on right now. There is no third generation scheduled to come out. This is the reel that we've had out for the past 2 years. We have no plans on changing the design of this reel. Any changes that are made to this reel are going to be retrofittable. If we find something that we think we can improve, we're going to improve it in a way that we can take an existing reel with an existing customer out there that has an earlier model of this particular reel. We'll be able to update that as well, because we're not looking to change the design and leave customers out there with a reel that is no longer in service. The main reasons that we have for bringing the manufacturing back to the United States are, number one, we want to support the U.S. economy. We want to be able to say that these reels are made in the USA. As far as manufacturing goes, there's no place else other than the United States that you can get the quality that you can get here. That's what we've found. We've also found that it's a whole lot easier for communication with a U.S. vendor than it is with a vendor overseas. There are no time differences. There are no language barriers. It's a whole lot easier to do business with domestic sources. We're excited with some products that we're going to be coming out with for the fall in just a few weeks. The first of which is going to be a right-hand retrieve reel, so we can accommodate the lefties, which up until this point we weren't able to have a reel. Their choice was to either buy a different reel or learn to fish with the other hand, which we don't find that acceptable. Another thing that we're excited to announce is that we're coming out with a self-service tool kit, where it's going to be an affordable kit with just a handful of tools, where you'll be able to service your reel, because it's a very easy reel. It was designed to be user self-serviceable. These kits are going to be coming out hopefully by the end of September, beginning of October. We highly recommend that the reels be serviced after your fishing season is over. Some people like to wait over the winter, and they have a springtime ritual of cleaning up their reels and everything. When we're talking about a waterproof reel, if there is any moisture that gets into it, you want to get to that and get it out of there as soon as you're done with your fishing season, so that it doesn't have a chance to sit in the reel all winter long. And that's when we find it would do the most damage. You don't have to self-service. Of course, you'll always have the option of sending the reel back to us here at the factory. Plus, we're also working on having some service centers, because we know that it's expensive to ship these reels when you insure them for the value of what you paid for them. So we're trying to make it easier. Our goal at ZeeBaaS is to make the experience of owning this reel a better experience, whether it's through self-servicing, if that's what you choose to do, or if you don't want to self-service it, you could either send it to us, or possibly we can have a service center in your area where you could bring the reel, drop it off, and have it serviced, thus avoiding the shipping charges. One of the things that we're going to do for those people that they're on the fence about, well, you say it's easy, but really how easy is it? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to have classes starting in the fall, where we'll have customers that will be able to come into the shop, and we'll teach you how to self-service this reel right here in this shop, so you can make the decision then, well, this is something that I can do, or you know what, I'm still going to just send this reel into ZeeBaaS. I have a feeling though, however, when people see how easy it is to work on this reel, more people will take the leap and start servicing their own reels. One mistake that a lot of fishermen make, and I was guilty of this mistake myself in years past, is they wait till something doesn't feel right in their reel before they send it in. Now with some reels that are not designed to be waterproof, that may be okay, but when you're talking about a waterproof reel that has rubber seals that contact moving parts, you know there's going to be wear in those rubber seals, so they need to be serviced on a regular basis, at least annually. If you're going in the water, if you're a skisher, or if you're a wetsuiter, you absolutely, positively should have that reel serviced every year. Even if you just occasionally get your reel wet, if you're fishing on a center console boat and it's getting splashed, if you want the water to stay out of that reel, you've got to maintain those seals. You've got to have them changed every single year. One of the first places that a reel is going to leak is in the main seal. And the reason for that is because every time you turn the handle one time, the rotor, this is the shaft guide that drives the rotor, this rotor is spinning. On our reels, we have a 4.75 to 1 ratio, which means that this piece here is spinning almost 5 times for every one time that you crank the handle. This piece is turning against this rubber seal right here, which is keeping the water out. When you're talking about that much use rubbing on this knife edge of a rubber seal, you're gonna have wear. There's no seal that is gonna last indefinitely. If you wait until the water gets in and damages the bearings, the clutch bearings, or the main bearings, what's going to happen is you're going to ruin those parts, and you're going to go from having an annual service where you're just changing the rubber seals to having a service where not only do you have to change those seals, but you need to change parts as well. The way to avoid that is to just change these rubber seals on an annual basis. One of the things that we're going to be coming out with is a more affordable kit that has just the important parts that you need to change every year. Right now the ZeeBaaS warranty is for 3 years, but you can extend that warranty by getting the reel serviced every year. Now that 3-year warranty, and this also goes back to when the reels had a lifetime warranty, a lot of people don't know this, but that warranty is contingent upon having the reel serviced every year. I can't stress it enough, you've got to change those rubber parts every year. If you buy a reel from us now, you get the 3-year warranty automatically, but each year that you send that reel in and get serviced, we'll extend that warranty for the life of the reel. So in other words, if you buy a reel today, you get it serviced on an annual basis. We have a record of that. That's another thing that we do now, is we keep a record of every time a reel comes in, we have all the work that was performed on it, we know when it was last serviced. We'll have a record of that, and if 5 or 6 years down the road you have a problem with that reel, but we can see that that reel has been serviced every year, it's still covered under warranty. You'll pay for the service, which is, you know, changing those rubber seals and bushings, but as long as you service that reel every year, if anything else happened, we'll take care, you know, we warranty the part. So if there is a part that goes bad and you have that reel serviced, it's on us.